I'm sort of obsessed with these cars. I'm originally from Australia, that's why my accent's kind of funky. If you're an OG to the Garage Topics channel, you will now realize that this is my third Pontiac G8 GT that I've owned in my lifetime. I owned a white bone stock G8 GT that did a road trip from Virginia to Detroit to pick up with my buddy Nathan. Got footage of all that and the exhaust modifications we did to it and wheels. Picked up a gray, I believe, 09 G8 GT 3 years ago from my buddy Travis. I love that car. Unfortunately, it didn't make sense to have two of the same cars at the same time because I had my SS and it, and I was going to manual swap it, and it didn't make sense to do that when I already had a superior car in that sense, and I was building the garage. It just didn't make sense at the time, so I unfortunately sold it. Still miss that car. Fast forward 3 years. I've had a Chevy SS. That was the longest car I've ever owned. It was a 2017 Slipstream Blue manual. Got a bunch of footage of it. I unfortunately sold that car earlier this year. I don't regret it, but I do miss that car. It was a lot of fun. It just came to a point where I really wanted to modify one of these Holdens, and to modify that one made no financial sense whatsoever. So I parted ways with it. I'm sure I'll own that car or another car like it again. And then here we are. So this is not a wrap. This is a factory color, making this probably the most rare Holden combo in the United States and even in Australia in some cases. This is called Stealth Blue in the United States. In Australia it's called K-Pow. It really has a chameleon look to it. So based on how the sun or light hits it, it's either purple or blue. I love how this car looks. And this car is in fantastic shape despite having 160,000 miles on it. It's in incredible shape. I am the third owner, I believe, of this car. I picked this up as a project and I've done some work to it. Let me talk about the work that I've had to do to this car. So I got this car as a non-running vehicle. This car is extensively modified, which is kind of why I wanted it. It has a lot of the modifications that I was going to do to one of these already, and it's got a big old turbo on the hood, which is incredible. Can't believe I own this thing. When I got it, it didn't have an intake on it, and it had some oil leaks and just had some small fixes it needed to get up and running again. So it came off the trailer. We had to roll it up here. I didn't get any footage, but I had to use my UTV to kind of winch it up our hill of a driveway. And I've been wrenching on it ever since. There will be an upcoming video about this Garage Topics garage, but you'll notice that this is on a 4-post lift. This 4-post lift has made working on this car incredibly easy for what stuff I've needed to do to it. So let me show you some of the details about why I picked this up. We may take it for a ride. All right, y'all are seeing it in the exact condition that I got it in. So it has aftermarket tail lights. It's got this sweet carbon fiber OEM style lip that's just a little bit bigger. It's got a full exhaust that comes out the back. It's got the GXP diffuser, but man, you can kind of tell this color, it's incredible. It's got a drag pack setup on it, big old meaty boy down here, and then a real skinny pizza cutter on the front. I'm probably gonna part ways with these, so if you want them, drop me a comment. Some subtle things here, like it's got carbon fiber covers right here. It's got a SS fin type antenna. Probably can paint that and match it up. It's got paint matched handles, no chrome on that at all. Here's the interior. It's a little bit messy, but it is in incredible shape, and it has some features that I would do to myself. It has a HSV style steering wheel, which feels absolutely incredible. I thought the Chevy SS wheel felt good. This one feels even better. It's even got the 5-gauge cluster HSV setup, which is incredibly expensive these days, so I'm very glad and fortunate to have it in here. I've got 3 AEM gauges, one for boost, one for air-fuel ratio, one for oil pressure, and I've got 2 of these OBD2 sensors, so I can look at any parameter I want to in here, which is pretty cool. There's been some modifications, of course, like obviously this isn't purple from the factory. This is painted all purple in here. It's not that way from the factory. These things are notorious for having bad headliners. The headliner in this is fantastic because it's been reupholstered to my knowledge. Yeah, just some small things. For 166,000 miles on it, it's in incredible shape. All right, so that's the good stuff here. Let's talk about more really what's under the hood, which is why this thing is so special. It's got a Mavman carbon fiber cowl hood. I am going to make this my own, so spoiler alert, this hood and this front GXP bumper is going to be for sale. I like how this looks, but I've got something up my sleeve that I'm really excited about, so drop a comment. I'm gonna list this for sale probably after this video airs. Here's where the magic source lives. This is a car tuning full turbo kit on this, and so I'm going to put on the screen the size turbo because I forget it, but it's like an 80-90 setup. It's very large, and it's got a full manifold setup here. And what's really great is that this runs all the way back, so it's got a custom exhaust in the back. It's got a full fuel system. When I got this, it didn't have the intake manifolds, and so I had that set up. It's been on E85, and it was sitting for a year, so I went through the entire fuel system, cleaned out the fuel filter, cleaned out the injectors, had them professionally cleaned by buddy in town. I'll put a link to his injector cleaning because he does it for all the United States. Mail him in your injectors and he'll clean them up for you. Catch can setup. It's got the full turbo setup as far as remounting some of the engine mount setup. It's got the updated AC compressor. This thing is G8 perfection. Everything that you would do to this, it has been done. And that saves me a lot of time and money, which I'm excited about. I know I say this a lot about vehicles, but this one I'd like to actually keep in the fleet for a decent amount of time. I don't think I'm going to be able to replicate this vehicle ever again. Its color, its modifications, what I paid for it, I don't think I'll ever be able to replace it or repeat what I've got going on with this. I'll talk more in future videos about what I want to do with this car, but I want this to be a hot rod that can do like power tour and stuff like that and maybe go get ice cream in town. But I've always wanted a crazy horsepower Commodore, one that sounds good, one that's reliable. So that's my main goal with this, and I want to laugh when I'm driving it. It has an automatic transmission in this thing, which all the G8 GTs came with in the United States. The only way you could get a manual G8 was with a GXP, and they only made about 1,800-ish GXPs, and half of them roughly were manual, so 900 of them, so not a lot. These cars have been documented to swap to manual transmissions with 5th gen Camaro parts. I think that's what I want to do with this. Keep that in the back of your minds for future videos, but that's a lot of work, but I want to document the whole process and share it with you guys. Let me put it up on the list and show you what's going on underneath it. This lift can go higher than this, but it's easier for me to bring it down and quicker. So this is a quote-unquote northern car living most of its life in Indiana. And it was definitely just driven in the summer because it is immaculate under here. It is cleaner than what my 35,000 mile Chevy SS was, a 2017 versus this 2008. Very, very clean. You get a glimpse of the fuel system there. It's got a triple pump, and then it runs through this filter, and that has a return setup as well. You can see the crossover tube from the turbo setup. It has this cutout here, which I need to rewire up, which would make it sound even more spooly. And it looks like my oil leak has returned, which need to take a look at that and see where it's coming from. It looks like I've got a slight bit from the oil feed and maybe something from the front crank, but I'll take a look. It's not really dripping, so that's good, but it's a slight leak. But yeah, it is very clean under here. I'm very impressed by it. While the car's up here, it's got the G8 perfection. It's got the 4 piston calipers up front, which is a modification to these, and it's got the same out back as well. It's got a cool HSV logo. Its paint's a little bit chipping, so we'll do something about that. I think it's been tuned by Rick Crawford, which is a synonymous name in the G8 community. And it's got a ton of dust on it. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but that's fine. That's easy to fix. But man, this color is so cool. I'm so excited to own this. Let's try to see if we can take it around the block. I've just finished buttoning all of the engine bay stuff up, and I think I fixed all the leaks. This front grille does look good. Let me know what you think about its current setup. There was an oil spot that presented itself when it pulled away, but I think it pulled up in the splash guard. Fix some loose ends on this thing. But it runs and drives, which it did not when I first got it, which is an accomplishment in my book. Wind the window down a little bit so you can hear some of the spoolie sound. It's got some flat spots in this thing. Let's see if we can get a little spoolie sound. You ready? just got regular 87 non-ethanol gas in it because I needed to drain all of the ethanol stuff out of it, so I'm not going to get it a big boost anytime soon until I get to a gas station and put some 93 in it, which I believe the tube will autocorrect for that. It is saying I've got 40% alcohol in here, which, I mean, ethanol, which doesn't make sense to me. But it sounds great. But it definitely has some flat spots. So I've got a spare set of CTSV wheels that came with this that I need to put on it before I put it back on the lift. But for such a high stall, it drives rather nice. It's just that those front tires probably need to have a little bit of a flat spot removed. Probably get some heat in them. I've got just the vacuum venting from the catch can. There's no good way to set it up as of right now, so it kind of stinks in here, which is, I guess, is a dilemma of a hot rod, if you will. So if I'm going to keep this long term, this thing needs to be able to be somewhat reliable and easy to drive and not a headache, which kind of is counterintuitive of a hot rod, but bouncing up and down from the flat spot. So we'll go put the spare wheel on after we wrap this video up. I'll see if I can make a little spoolie sound again. Like I mentioned, hot rod fun. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is smoking real bad from this this turbo, like oil is in it somewhere. I am noticing down there, I believe that is the oil drain from the turbo, and there was a slight leak there. Looks like it might need some new clamps, but man, I hate the smell of burning oil. It smells like ass. Everything else is okay, just need to be, the wiring needs to be tied up some more. But yeah, it's not fun smelling that. Unless it's just, I mean, that's the second time I've ran it with, I have to get my hands on it, but it looks like it's burning something else off. Not sure. It doesn't smell nice, but ran good, and it sounded cool. All right, whew, it is incredibly humid out here, so I wanted to get this video out quick because I am going to change the looks of this up very soon. So if you are in the market for a Navman carbon fiber cowl hood or GXP front bumper, send me a message on the comments or send me a DM on Instagram, Facebook. I'm gonna ask retail for this, so it won't be cheap because I need it to fund other stuff on the car as well. But this color, hopefully do one more look around of like this color is what makes this car so cool. So I'd like to get driving this more often. All right, I'm sweating. It's very hot. I'm gonna go inside and maybe get the wheels on this so I can actually drive it again and see where the oil leak's coming from. So a lot of fun. Catch you guys later. Make sure you go to the doctor if you got health insurance that gives it for free, because it could save your life. That's all I got. Catch you guys later. Peace out.